Am I the only one who saw something familiar when I watched the first episode of Ahsoka and Huyang came on screen? He reminded me of something from 1980s Doctor Who. His mannerisms and movement and voice were really reminiscent of Kamelion from the Peter Davison era of Doctor Who, the Fifth Doctor. I didn't know until halfway through the first episode that David Tennant originally voiced him in the Clone Wars episode. And I didn't recognize his voice at first either. But then once I learned it was David Tennant, I couldn't not hear his voice. It's just really curious to me that my initial impression from Huyang, when I didn't really remember him much at all from the Clone Wars, was that his behavior, his shape, his movement, the way he inhabited space was just very reminiscent of Kamelion. The connection probably falls apart if you try to compare them side by side. But go back and watch that first episode of Ahsoka and keep in mind Kamelion from the 80s, buried in your long ago memory that you haven't seen for years. Not decades for me, because I watch Doctor Who episodes periodically anyway. It's probably only been a few years since the last time I watched Kamelion. But extracting the memory of Kamelion was triggered by Huyang.